Welcome to WROL Broadcast. Here are your hosts.
I am Haymail, and with me today we have Loot.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Kage.
Hello.
M4.
Hey guys.
Who's become rather famous. A famous streamer. And Sheriff Lobo.
Hello, everyone.
Who's become a little less famous.
Sure.
Haven't seen you at the tippy top of the leaderboard in a little while.
It's difficult to compete against such perfection.
The greatest player of all time.
M4. Well, actually, no. That goes to Grandpa Owl this month.
Yep.
Who, congratulations on your first win, Gramps. Very proud of you, buddy.
Congrats.
And before we get started, let's, M4, if you want to share your stream and what you're doing real quick, because we forgot to do that the last time.
Well, I don't think I have started streaming when we did our last
you were
episode.
about to,
But
I think.
I was on the fence, but now I'm in it. So for those of you that do not know, I stream my Siege matches. So if you're interested how matches go in Top 10 and Siege, so come watch my stream. I'm going to start streaming again for the next season, starting Sunday at around 9:30 Eastern. So
Woohoo!
It's a little late for me, but I try to watch, and this month I'll watch so I can not... I always do so bad on the first day, because for some reason it always takes me a day to get in the groove. And then if you want to
I
see...
think you probably rush it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking sometimes. And And if you want to see his stream, it's twitch.tv/my...
no, don't do it. I'll do it. Because you're going to butcher it for sure. It's M4Y15.
I almost said E.
M4Y15.
And if you want to see top 60 play with Lex as the leader, check out Chosen's stream, who I just lost to in in a competition. If you regularly follow this episode, or if you only tune in for this
rematch.
We're going to see a rematch. I actually just finished recording with him before this, so that will come out before this. You'll see all of his matches, and during this stream, instead of tending 50 hours trying to time all of the tunes with this, you'll see almost all of the tunes that we're going to review in my Siege matches, which I have every match. I'm going to try to put them in order, but that could take half my life, because there's 116 matches, so they may be out of order depending on my laziness tomorrow. But they will all be there. Every single match. I recorded every single one. So if you see that this episode's like
awesome.
if you see this episode's like 4 hours long, the podcast portion will be the first part. But if you want to see me play mostly good and then occasionally terrible, then check that out. And you also see some great Rose play, which we'll get into later. So with that, let's start with the tune of the month. And Kage, let's start with you this time.
I'm gonna say Mr. Freeze. You ride or die with him. If your freeze goes down, then you're hopeless. If your freeze lives and you take the other freeze down or whatever, actually, you know what? It's not even that. He's just his 4 speed downs at the start of the match are so crucial. So, I just got to give him the MVP. He's just a monster now.
How about you, M4? Who was your MVP this month, would you say?
Definitely Freeze. I brought him to all my battles. Even if it's all blues, Freeze has no problem.
How about Loot?
I had 2 MVPs of the month. Lex, because he's a god. Could be the best tune in the entire game.
I think, yeah, without question.
And Freeze. What Freeze was able to accomplish in this siege at times was so rage-inducing that I wanted to break things. He completely flipped the script on what can happen in a fight. Total RNG. One tune's getting speed downs. You don't know who it's going to be. I lost to teams that I beat multiple times just because Freeze decided to do something weird. So Freeze is crazy good.
Sheriff Lobo.
I have Mr. Freeze down as the Toon of the Month. He was on every single Siege team that I fielded the entire Siege, I believe.
I will also agree with Mr. Freeze. He was by far the MVP. You brought him to even to full... When you face full blue teams, you would frequently bring him. Or 3 blues, Mr. Freeze still made it on the team somehow. On all my revenges against full blue, Mr. Freeze was always there. He is so strong. He can take Wonder Girl punches to the face. I mean, he's so much... Like, his rework, when you first saw the kit, you're like, he's going to be crap. But he's a monster. He's so good. I'm honestly not sure how much I'll use him outside of Siege, just because he doesn't really fit my team so much, but I do like the speed down. I kind of toyed with the idea of making a speed down comp to mesh with my stun teams, but I need some blues and reds that might mix in to fit that. But he's a great character, and while we're on the topic, I see all of us, except for Kage, I haven't seen your vote yet, but looks like all of us vote him an A. I almost think he's borderline S. Does anybody have any other comments on him? Because we'll go ahead and talk about him now.
Yeah, I had, so in my notes, I had my notes typed up with him after Giganta, and I was talking about how Giganta just can't cut it in the high speed, high damage meta, but Freeze can. The one problem that, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but before his rework, wasn't his retaliation for Enrage 100%?
I want to say it was.
Well, they've dropped that down to 75% now.
No,
so
it was 50% before. So that
wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then, never mind that next comment that I was going to make, because I thought it went from 100 to 75%.
I swear it worked more often than before.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, it feels like that. I agree. It's really weird.
Anybody else have any other comments on Freeze you want to chime in before we move on? Solid A character, probably an A+.
He's awesome. Yeah, A+ for sure. And I can tell you this, anybody that takes him like RB3 or higher, he's immediately S tier.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the really, impossible. I don't know if anything could kill him at RB5. He's just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, but even at RB3, he's probably right in the sweet spot of you don't have to take him to 5. But I think he's just crazy good.
Have any of you guys taken him over RB1? I know M4 took him to RB1, I think.
No, I did not. I am toying with the idea, but Siege is over, and I am going to rework for the upcoming Siege, so I'm holding on to the tokens. But I was really tempted because he's that good.
All right, well, let's get moved on to another character that is not even remotely in the same league as Mr. Freeze, and that is Adam. We'll start with you this time, Sheriff Lobo. What are your Adam thoughts? Did you gear him at all, or?
No, I didn't gear him, so I didn't put a vote in for this. He doesn't look good at all.
I also did not gear him. People I've talked to about gave him a C, so that's what I rated him at. I could see an argument for trash tier as well based on what I've witnessed. Have anybody in our group geared him?
No.
I did not, but I did see some Burger stuff, and he's pretty bad.
So since none of us geared him,
really bad.
I think we should probably vote. So let's just go down the list. Just based on what you've seen, Sheriff, what would you rate him?
Probably C.
Kage?
No comment. I haven't seen any footage of him play.
How about you, M4?
I've seen him a lot. In one or two of my streams, I came across Burgers. I think he was L4 at the time.
Yeah.
I tried my best to keep him alive, to try and kill my team. And he just couldn't. He wouldn't do anything. And that's me trying to make him look good. And he's still, I brought in stamina up tunes, avoid hitting him, and he just stands there doing nothing. So, but if I have to vote, I'll say C because I haven't used him personally at L5. So
How about it, Loot? I'm guessing trash tier from you.
From what I've seen, man, back the truck up, dude.
You know,
Going in the trash bin.
I did an episode with Tootie, and Tootie could barely give him a C. So with that, I think he has to go in the trash.
It's a trash.
That
Yeah.
means
Yeah, I mean
trash.
that just has to be trash.
Tootie couldn't make him good. He's trash.
I mean, Tootie like hedged and said, well, probably a C. So I mean, it has to be trash. So let's back the truck up.
I'm really hoping that we don't need him in the raid because I really have no desire to gear him.
He does no damage, and even at X5, I think he's going to be like Blue Beetle, where you just don't use him.
He did nothing, right?
He's got a buff move too, right? I can't even remember. Yeah, his 2
I'll
is the
let
buff move.
Burger test him, and if Burger says you have to gear him, I'll gear him.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, let's move on to another character that isn't so hot, and that is Captain Adam, who's been in Siege. I want to say how many times now?
A few.
I know at least 2.
I'll have to check. I can.
It's either 2
tell
or
you in a
3.
second. Yeah, something like that.
I think it's 3. We voted him trash tier, kind of. M4, I see you've moved him back to a C, so why don't you start?
Well, I was super annoyed with him when I tried to make him look good in a disease comp. I mean, if you don't have any other, let's say you're new and he's your only damage dealing green, I mean, you can make him work, but for his primary purpose, he kind of sucks as, you want out of turn attacks for someone having diseases. It doesn't work, but he's not complete trash, so I moved him back to a C.
And Loot, no surprise, I see trash tier.
Back the truck up, dude.
What? You don't think he's usable at all?
No, I tried to use him. What was it, last siege? One of the sieges. I didn't use him at all this month. The last siege where there was like a lot of diseases, he just, that's supposed to be like his bread and butter. It's like a disease comp. And it just doesn't work. So due to that, and he does like little to no damage, and he kind of dies easily, he's trash.
Kage, what would you vote him?
He needs help. He needs rework.
So would that be a C or a T?
Trash.
Oh, Kage says trash. Kage says trash.
Yeah, it's the first trash rating I've ever given. He's pretty bad. I would not touch him with tape mill stick.
Sheriff Lobo, I see you have a C.
Well, I'm almost tempted to go with trash, especially if we had him rated as trash before. The only time I used him this siege is if I needed if I was facing a full red team, and he's not great. He like Kage said, his thing is disease, and he doesn't do it well, doesn't do it right. Although I will say that his punching under shield came in handy against Azrael a few times, but I don't know.
I'm kind
It's
of
cheap gimmicky.
I'm kind of on the fence. His 3 does okay damage, and it does the heal immune, but you're right. I mean, I've used him against all red teams, and I was struggling to keep him alive. Like, he would almost die every time. I think I did have a match where I lost him against an all-red team.
True. I'm going trash.
Yeah, I think I am too. All right, let's trash tier it is.
Yes.
Back to truck up.
Woo!
Everybody's favorite sound drop. And moving on to a character that I'm gonna start with this one. I'm surprised at this siege at how much I liked Captain Boomerang. He was a lot better than I remembered. He did halfway decent damage, especially on his 2. His 2 would always kill a blue, guaranteed every single time. His speed downs were kind of useful. My only complaint about him is that he does die pretty easy, especially when you're facing Powergirl. So I actually would give him a B. I'd move him up, personally. Loot, what are your thoughts on him?
I give him a C because he really doesn't do a lot that's good. But one of his moves, I don't remember which one it is, but the one that like he deals decent damage.
That's his 2,
actually deals. It really does deal pretty good damage, and you can take out a blue, which is useful. So I can't throw him in the trash bin because at least he can take out a blue. So
how about you,
I give him a
Sheriff?
C.
Yeah, I have him as a C. The first go around when he was first introduced, I used him as a slow gear, so this was really the first time that I played with him significantly. There are clearly lots better reds, even with his turn meter down. And in this siege, I found actually his best move to be his buff steal under Lex lead to buff up the team. And like you all said, his second move can do some damage if you can get around Powergirl. And I would put him just a hair ahead of Giganta, but I think he's still a C.
And what would you say, Kage? What would be your vote for him?
Nothing different than what they said. C is a good spot for him. You would think that he'd pair really well with Breeze, and that is true. His skill did come in handy when it came to Powergirl and stealing the death immunity, but he is just so squishy.
Yeah, he's
squishy.
very hard to keep alive. That's my big complaint on him too. All right, so I guess he still made a C. Moving on to Circe, who we're gonna try to get her to S tier. I vote S for all the same reasons I've said on the last 2 podcasts. Loot, I see you've moved her to an S. Your opinion has changed.
So my opinion has drastically changed. It went from a B to an A to an S. And now I'm solid in the S. She's so good. I regret not buying her when she was available. I bought enough to take her to RB2. I did not take enough to get her to RB5. And if I get the chance, I'm going to finish her off and make her an RB5.
Hopefully she
hope
gets
her
a
sale does
next
not
month.
come around.
I hope that sale's next month. She's due. She's overdue.
No, she's not.
Because Artemis
She's
was with
getting
her
the
last
RB5
one.
treatment for sure.
Kage, what is your vote now? Are you still an A, or have you changed?
She's up there. A plus, I'll say. I'll split the difference.
And Sheriff, you're still an A?
Yeah, for me, she's not quite S, especially if we're thinking about like your Red Robins and your Black Adams that we've moved down from S and keeping S really exclusive. I don't think she fits. I think she's really good. Her AoE stun is too RNG dependent. I just don't see S.
M4?
All right. I'll try to sell her case. All right. So unlike most of you who are just, joining the bandwagon, I saw the writing on the wall and smart enough to buy enough. If that Mary sale didn't come during that month, she would have been RB5 sooner. But anyway, I digress. So her basic applies 4 int downs. That is massive. Anyone who gets hit at 4 int downs and she's with another hard-hitting special damage based toon, that toon is dead. All right. And then the bonus silence sometimes helps with other, silence-based toons. And in itself kind of helps, right? And then her true heal, 70% that she gets a chance to proc, right? When she gets hit. I'll get to that. All right. Her bread and butter is the turn meter down with the purge and sometimes stuns. The stun is a bonus, so I'm not even counting on it.
The stun is
But she's
easy
my-
mode activated if it happens.
Yeah, if it happens, it's game over. It's like game over. The enemy team is just toast. All right. But even then, without that, I mean, she's one of the fastest No, she's the fastest AOE turn purger. AOE purger. Yes, she is the fastest. So just by that virtue, she's an AS to me. And then one of the annoying things about her is if you try to kill her and you failed, she just gains the health back, and then like she has that damage immunity, and like, oh crud. Now I'm back to square one with 2 priority targets that I cannot kill. So there's so much going on with her kit. That she's an
superhero meeting.
Yes, it is. It's a monthly superhero meeting, baby.
It is the superhero meeting. Well, with that vote, that gives us 3 S's, 2 A's, and Kage's is borderline S. So that finally moves her to the S tier where she rightfully belongs. Pingzo will be so happy.
Boom.
He will no longer boycott our list. Mr. Zubaz will still, but because he hates our list with a passion, but Pingzo is now a believer. So moving on, let's go to Doombox's favorite character, which we will probably not give a rating that he will agree with. Let's start with you this time, Loot, since you gave her the lowest score.
All right. I gave her trash tier, but there's reasons why. It's not just like she sucks, blah, 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 blah. Just bringing up her kit. Because her kit, if you look at it on paper, it looks good. It's like deceiving, right? And she's got the turn 0 taunt. So you're like, yeah, wow, this kid is awesome. Oh my god, it's turn 0 taunt with 3 awareness? Wow, that is amazing. All right, let's talk about that. She starts the thing, turn 0 taunt, 3 awareness, and within the first move, she's either dead or halfway dead. So somehow all those awareness get purged immediately and she dies. Explain that.
I'll let you start, Ember.
Ridiculous. It's terrible. Like, she's got these empowered stamina. Okay. They do nothing. She is so squishy. You just touch her and she dies. She should be the tankiest of tanks, and she doesn't have a tank gear set. What's up with that? What is she, a striker? With a
She's a
tank
striker.
kit?
Yes.
She's a striker. Does she do damage? Not really.
Kage,
So is she really a striker? I don't think so.
I did a stream with Doombox coaching me and playing backseat DCL on my stream, and I was just really bored with using Giganta. Like, yeah, sure, you can think outside the box and like find ways to make her survive, find ways to make her do damage. That's fine. It's just a really boring kit. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You used her 3, get the awareness, get some taunt, but then that all gets purged, and you got a naked woman there. You can use her buff move, and she's pretty sturdy. And if she does get ramped and starts moving, yeah, she's a pain in the ass to kill. But she's just a really boring character to use. So I have to say C. I don't agree with Loot. I don't think she's that bad. She's just requires a lot of thinking, and it just doesn't pay off that much.
M4, what are your thoughts on her?
Yeah, so her biggest problem is her kit is wrong. So I thought they were going to give her the tank gear set because you don't need to be a striker when you're doing true damage. All right, and the second part is the empowered stamina ops does nothing for her survival against greens. There are a lot of special damage greens who doesn't care. She just dies. I barely use her in the siege because whenever I lose a toon, it's her. So I try not to bring her. And then the other non-special damage green, Arcus, doesn't care about her empowered strength stamina ups. And if your tank you have to get creative to get her to survive. And she's not a very good tank.
Arcus,
Like
I
Luke
don't feel
said,
like
wants
is a
to-
great argument, just because I've had him take out my R before, Donna Troy. So,
Well, it's because he's ridiculously strong.
yeah, I mean,
Power Girl. All right. Arcus. All right. Arcus is like God tier. Okay.
yeah.
So Power Girl.
Power Girl punches her out.
Yeah.
Punches her in the face and she just melts. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna just lie here. Carry on, guys.
A nice Sheriff,
So
I
if
see.
that's your turn, Sue. Yeah.
And Sheriff, you have a C as well, so any additional thoughts?
No, everyone's covered it already. She's a C.
All right, C it is. I agree with that. Next on the list, this was one I kind of went back and forth on, was Miss Martian, because and the problem is I didn't use her outside of Lex too often, so I don't really have a good analysis on her outside of Lex. With Lex, she's like borderline S tier because she's so good with Lex, and the minute I saw her, I was like, oh, this is a Lex character. I really like her a lot more than I thought I would. She has a lot of things in the kit that I enjoy. Don't know how much I'll use her outside of the Siege, but all in all, I felt like she was a very solid character. Somebody that if you want to invest in her, you won't be disappointed, but she's not somebody you absolutely need. Sheriff, what are your thoughts on her?
I think she's almost an A, but not quite. She could be really good, and you're right, she's one of the best pairs with Lex. I mean, everybody pairs with Lex, but every move she has is a buff, and she's pretty fast, and she's an intelligence-based toon. She also did really well with Saint leads, so the two leads that were the most dominant this siege, she paired really well against. So she pairs well with Saint because she also has shields and call assist. I actually used her more than I used my RB4 Powergirl in this siege. And especially when she's buffed up, she could do some surprising damage. Sometimes she would one-shot Reds with her AoE. So her weakness is the buffs, obviously fodder for Wonder Girl and low HP, but she's not bad.
M4.
So, yeah, she's borderline BA, but there's a few things that I don't like about her kit. For one, her 3 is 75% chance to buff. It's just weird. So if you're banking on that to proc Lex, you'll be disappointed sometimes. And although she's really good when she's ramped up, her basic just wrecks when you have those fat stack of int ups. But it takes her a while to get there. And I don't even think she'll get there without Lex. I think she's gonna die if you don't have her overhealed and shielded up. So I'm keeping my vote at a B. And besides, her kit is kind of like all over. Well, not that exciting. It works if you want to invest in her, but I don't think she brings anything special.
Kage, what would you say?
If Hippolyta could have a baby with Mary, I think this is kind of what they're going for. It's like a utility character with some turn meter down and a little bit of call assist sprinkled in. I'd say it's about a B. I don't think she does everything that you're going for well, but she has a little bit of everything to want to bring her into a match. If you need some utility that comes in the form of like cleansing and a call assist, I mean, that's a pretty cool move. It's easy to reset her tool. AoE is not bad. It's just not something I would use unless I wanted to reset my 2. The basic, it's nice to have. But if you end up nuking someone, then I guess that's the added plus. Not a bad character. Not someone I'd care to bring along a lot anyway.
Luke, any thoughts?
She's a solid B. I mean, everybody pretty much said what I was thinking. She's really good under Lex, but I never tried her outside of Lex, but she's probably not quite as good.
All right, moving on. Sheriff, I'm going to start with you on Powergirl because you have her RB4, yet you bumped her down to a B. So I'm interested to hear that.
I used to be really high on her, and obviously I committed to her being a high rebirth for me in terms of I want to get some high rebirth taunters, but her usefulness has just fallen out of favor now that Reds aren't as dominant. And I've said this repeatedly with the meta right now. It's like super duper high damage greens, and the green power creep has just left her in the dust, both in terms of survivability and damage. So she can destroy reds, but she can't destroy greens anymore, and she used to could do that. Particularly with the advent of Arcus, there are very few circumstances where you would want to bring her over Arcus, and he does everything that she does almost better. Taunt, retaliates, death and debuff immunity, strength up, massive damage. You know, the only thing is Arcus needs that first turn to get his double tap in, and Powergirl has that death immunity and taunt first round, but with purges, with flex, she's just outclassed by the green meta. So I initially voted her as an A, but even at RB4, like I said, she was my second or third choice for greens in this siege. So
listen
I
to you
bumped her
talk
down
now.
to a B.
Listening to you talk, I think I'm going to agree with a B just because I think she's solid, but I feel like, you can't one-on-one a lot of times even Azrael with her. Like, he will win that fight.
This is going to be fun. I'm doing the same thing.
You're moving yours down to B2? All right, Ludo, I guess let's have you go next.
So everything that Sheriff Lobo just said was really sums it up pretty well. She definitely needs, maybe not a rework, but she needs a stat boost. She needs to be able to punch above her weight belt again. Like, that was one of her things, is she could like punch you out.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the power creep, and she's kind of old now if you think about it. She came out a long time ago. The amount of how, like, the stats that they're giving the newer toons and the reworks, it's just so much higher. So because of that, she was S tier, no doubt. She's just not what she was before. And for me, RNG does play a factor. My Powergirl is trash. I'm not voting her trash, but my Powergirl is trash. The enemy Powergirl is freaking S tier every single time. S tier.
Yeah,
so
on defense, she's definitely a lot scarier.
Defense, she is crazy, like broken. It's unfair most of the time. And Lobo, facing an RB4 Powergirl, thanks, buddy. That's like a death sentence. She can punch anybody out from my side. But on offense, she really needs a tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you, man. Let's go B. Bump that girl down.
Kage, what would... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sheriff.
I was going to say, speaking of how old she is, I think she was the last, or definitely one of the last toons for which there was a new loading screen in the game.
Yes, she might be. She came out January 2018.
Wow. That was a long time ago. It's almost 3 years.
That was like 3 years ago. Wow.
Kage, what are your thoughts?
I got nothing for you. She's power crept, definitely. I don't know about B tier. But, I have very similar thoughts to Boot as far as RNG goes.
And my Powergirl's never punched twice. she only punches once. So like, that's it.
My Powergirl doesn't gain death immunity.
My Powergirl has not been to the gym. She's too tired after one punch. She's just done. So you're going to leave her as an A, Kage?
Yeah, I'd leave her as an A.
How about you, M4? You're leaving an A.
Yeah,
Let's hear.
I agree with all of the points Sheriff Lobo made, but I'm not quite ready to bump her down to a B for a few reasons. One, her turn meter gain when you hit her. She's scarier to face than Arcus turn 1. Because you're forced to hit her, and you don't know what she's going to do. And especially with under Lex, she can turn the tables speed-wise. So even if there's a castaway green arrow on the other side, if she gets hit, she gains 25% turn meter, so she goes next. And then anything can happen. So the only reason I lose her sometimes is when Mr. Freeze does his thing, and put speed down on her, and then it's over. So you know how important she is in this siege. And as much as she's annoying to use on your side because she's inconsistent, she dies or sometimes she won't die. On the enemy side, I still consider defense on my rating, so she's still a threat, even if she's power crept. A few hits and then she's like, I got 10 strength ups and then now, oh crud, she might AoE and then you lose 1 or 2 toons. So I'm not quite ready to give up on her.
You make a good argument. I'm teetering.
I mean, on defense, she's S tier.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous.
But I usually
And
weight mine on offense.
On offense, she's B tier, so take the average of that. It's A.
That's a good argument. I think I will leave A for now. I'm not quite.
I think I'm just annoyed. I expected at RB4 that I could just slaughter everybody with that Power Girl on offense, and she does not do what I expected her to do at RB4. So maybe I'm just a bitter old man.
I did not face yours, but I faced OC3's RB5 and I was like shaking in my boots every time I faced that comp. She's scary.
Yeah, on defense, she's like Kage sold me on A because on defense she's S, on offense she's probably a high B, so it's that falls into the A tier.
It's exactly what all of us are saying.
Yeah.
Super ridiculous defense, mediocre offense.
So speaking of mediocre, let's move on to Rose, who I wasn't going to put on, but I still think she's a lot higher than a C tier. But M4 wanted to talk about her, so let's hear.
Yeah, I just want to save people's resources. All right, so there are 2 ways I can see to use Raveger. So I played with her a lot during one of my streams to see if I can make her look good. This around when she had her showdown. So as a slow Batgirl, she is amazing. Her 3 just destroys she gains 4 strength up right off the bat. So yes, she does a very good job of destroying toons. So you have she's slow, so you can use the setup of, let's say, a Circe to purge the taunts and awareness or what have you. And then she can nuke just like Batwoman does. But then after that, half her kit is trash. So I tried making silence comps for her, using Clayface, Wonder Woman POT to give the silences, and then she just stands there doing nothing. And then when she does her out of third attack, you like celebrate because it rarely happens, right? It just like happens once a year. So if you want a heavy hitter red, there's so many better options. I would even take AW Lex over her.
No, I tried that and almost lost because AW Lex is so slow that I decided to use a match where I used AW Lex over Ravager, and he ended up going after the whole other team went, even with the extra speed ups from my team. So
I remember that.
Yeah, I sent you that match.
Won.
I still won, but it was RNG was on my side. I'm sure that video will be in this episode at some point somewhere. But you will see.
Her kit is trash, though.
You know what, though? I love Ravager. I would give her an A, personally, because she is my blue answer. You need Cheetah or somebody to give her strength ups, but because I like that she goes last because Batgirl, almost everybody's always hidden behind a taunter. So Batgirl usually doesn't work. And Batgirl also doesn't, because yours is RB5, she'll get kills, but my Batgirl does not kill anyone unless she crits. So she has to be under higher gun dead shot. So Ravager's a lot easier to slot in because I don't have to have Cheetah in lead. I can put Cheetah out of lead, or a lot of the time I ran...
You mean Batwoman or Batgirl?
I'm sorry, Batwoman. Yeah, I meant to say Batwoman. My Batwoman never kills anyone. She hits them, they don't die, unless I put her under higher gun dead shot. She has to crit to get kills at L5 most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. Where Ravager, I can slot in anywhere. I want her to go last. So, and then she'll often get 2 kills. And then I also got a lot of, granted that was some of the rare times I had good RNG. When I used her 2 to throw the grenade, she'd get the damage immunity and would keep me from getting killed by Powergirl. And then her basic does pretty good damage and heals her up. So I don't know. I'm really sold on Raveger. I really like her now. I'm guessing everyone.
Highest I would go is B. A is just like ludicrous.
uh,
I'm not voting.
Everybody else is still a C, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm not changing.
So
I'm
we're
at
still
B.
C. But Kage's a B. I think you were a B before, but we have 3 C's, so she's still a C, unfortunately. I think she deserves better than that person. But moving on, we'll leave the Ravager alone for a while. Maybe we can sell her again one day in the future, whenever you're desperate for a slow red to kill blues. Saint Walker. We'll go ahead and start with you this time, Kage.
See what now?
Saint Walker.
Saint Walker.
He's the same as always. He's an interesting kit. I like the call assist. It's really annoying how tanky his team is because of his stat boosts. If you're a sandbagger like me and don't like to max out your characters, you're going to struggle fighting against high rebirth Walker teams. I have lost matches because the other team was out rebirthing me, so I'd give him an A.
M4. I see you also have an A. Looks like we all have an A.
Yeah, I like Saint Walker because he can give me an RB7.
Yeah.
And right, put Batwoman under Saint Walker, and nobody's left standing if there's no taunters. But other than that, we all know how good he is. He purges, calls assist, and don't leave him standing for last, because he's gonna wreck your team unless it's Mr. Freeze versus him, and he'll never get a turn. I think he's still a solid A after all this time. Yeah.
Luke, any additional thoughts on Saint Walker?
I have nothing to add. He's no different than he was before. He's an A.
Sheriff?
Not really. I just would say that really until the siege, and a lot of times, I forget and undervalue him. And like M4 said, like, oh, it's a saintly, no problem, and then go up against the team and you can't kill him. So I actually started using him more outside of siege after I've been playing with him this siege. So I think he's a solid A.
Yeah, I have too. I've been messing around with him with comps with using Saint Walker, Killer Frost, Hawkgirl, and Metallo. And Metallo holds up pretty well when he's RB7. So he's a pretty fun character, solid character all around. The boy made a good choice in rebirthing him. Granted, he rebirths all the lanterns. He's gonna have more lanterns next month to rebirth, but he good character. I wonder if he. What do you think the odds are of him being the siege bonus toon again next month? So,
0. It better not be.
I won't be. I won't be.
Wait, who? Who are you
Saint-
talking about?
Saint Walker, because we have 4. We know there's 4 lanterns in next month's siege already. And at you'll probably hear this episode. You'll know who everybody is before, but that hasn't been released yet, so we don't know. This is the Tuesday recording, but we're just doing the over/unders on Saint Walker being a siege bonus toon.
Right.
Again.
Well, we know the 4, right?
Yeah.
The 4 that are.
Yeah, I
the
mean,
new
we know the
ones
2 reworks
plus
and
the
two
other
reworks.
ones.
Yeah. We're just saying because if they do
I
a
don't
lantern
know.
theme again, I don't know.
I think it's going to be Arcus this month.
Oh God, I hope not.
I hope not. I hope
hope.
there's 0 other lanterns other than the 4 new ones.
Actually, I wouldn't
Maybe
mind
it'll be Atrocitus.
Hal Jordan. That's who I want.
No.
I'll take a Hal Jordan.
Yeah. RB5
I'm
Jordan. rocking?
looking at the history. So they haven't done the full team with the bonus in a long while. So the last time they did this is with Fireflies, but now they seem to have 4 that has a team,
Yeah.
and then the 4 other bonus has nothing to do with the 4 new tunes and reworks.
That does kind of make me
So-
sad. I wish they did do it more themed. Like that would be more fun if like if it
That
was a
would
Wonder
be an
Woman.
interesting question, I think, for the developers.
Yeah, what
Why
makes
do you make those choices?
And a lot of it isn't financially related because they repeat tunes, which doesn't financially incent them at all. It's like, hey, I already geared
Sure,
that
it's
toon,
true.
so I don't know what the logic is. Just as long as it isn't John Constantine again next month. The guy's been
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
he's been the siege guy like 18 different times now. I'm for if he's the bonus toon again, you're gonna have to take him RB5 just because he'll be.
Alright, Constantine has been a bonus toon 5 times.
That's insane.
Oh my gosh.
Him and Killer Croc. I feel like they've been in like 15
Croc
seasons.
might be 3, let's see.
Yeah.
Croc has been bonus toon for 3 times.
Yeah, like, and then there's so many characters
Is
I've
anybody
never.
higher than Croc?
Throw a name.
I'm trying to think. Who's
No
been
idea.
in a
Like,
lot.
who's the highest?
Well, Star Sapphire has been in
Constantine
several
for
times,
sure.
and she'll be in again next
Oh,
month.
Star Sapphire, yeah. Star Sapphire, yes. Oh my god.
Oh, she's been in a
Seven.
couple times.
Holy shit, she might be the winner 7 times.
Oh my
wait,
god!
wait,
What?
No. I just typed star.
Oh,
Star Sapphire 4 times. 4 times, alright.
so with next month that'd be 5 then.
Oh yeah, you're right, yeah. I don't have next month yet loaded.
They
so
love
yeah,
Star
5.
Sapphire.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like why? And then there's so many characters that never even been a bonus toon. So it's like, don't you want people to gear up characters?
Yeah. Like Circe or Mary or Batwoman, right?
Yeah.
Those
Looking
would be
for
good
Artemis
choices.
to be a
Ooh.
bonus character.
Do Batwoman. That would be awesome for
Or
us.
do Hawkgirl.
Nah.
You know, give me. I have other than Flash. I think I had Flash one time. I don't even know if he was RB5 during his month. I think I took him RB5 because of Siege, and then I ended up not using him that much anyway because it was like blue heavy or something ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, none of my RB5 characters have been whenever they've been a bonus toon. I don't think. Maybe
I don't
one.
think I've had RB5s that were bonus tunes. I think I did them afterwards.
I'm just waiting for the
Yeah.
Siege that has Lex, the bonus toon. I feel like 18 owls who have RB5 Lex doing it.
Maybe it'll be Black Adam this month. Break out my...
Hi, this is Kitty
super strong
Little.
one.
Thank you for
That'd be
listening
funny.
to this episode of
Jon Stewart and
WROL broadcast.
Indigo
If you
will
like
get
the show,
destroyed
please check
immediately
out
every episode.
patreon.com/WROL broadcast
Stewart's gonna be
and
terrible.
find out
Yeah,
how
but
to
you know, we
get
said that
the
about Green,
perks.
so we'll see.
You know, I sent Kagent
That's
lists.
true.
We
Keep
will.
up
It
I was
doesn't matter.
and
Yeah, you never know.
sure.
They could get stats that
Thank you.
crazy
Okay.
or whatever. But anyway, let's call it a night. Get going. Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time.
See you later, fellas.
Bye.